Guys, there is this issue relating to illegal immigrants and them working in our countries. Now, the other day I was listening to something in which I think it was a Nigerian who was saying the reason he's working in a certain country here in Africa is because in their country the salaries are very low, and he thinks that working in this new country is better off for him and for his family. Now, the big question to them is just simple. Why don't you fix your own country? Why don't you work on improving the salaries of your own country instead of moving to other people's countries? Because even in this country you're working, for example, you come here in Kenya or in South Africa, you'll realize that people over here at some point had to strike, had to go through a lot to even get the government to increase the salaries to a certain level or a certain minimum, you know. And that was a lot of effort that people had to go through. Others were even maybe interdicted. Others went months without salaries for them to get their governments to get to a certain point. So when you say that you are leaving your country, you are leaving Nigeria, you are leaving Gambia, you are leaving Ghana, coming over to Kenya or South Africa or Namibia, looking for greener pastures, sincerely you're not being fair to yourself. These guys are actually coming into our countries, and most of our African countries have very high levels of unemployment. Now, anytime a foreigner or an immigrant is doing a certain job in this country, they're actually taking an opportunity that a local person would be doing in that specific country. Anytime you see a teacher who is in Kenya, who is Nigerian, teaching in a school in Kenya or South Africa or in Zambia, for example, this is a person that is doing a job that was supposed to be done by a Kenyan, and this is very wrong. I think what needs to happen is that we need tougher laws in regulating how immigrants are able to work in our countries. If you feel your country is not working, then do something about it. Fleeing from your country doesn't really work very well. The other thing, which is very important, whenever these foreigners are working in our countries, what is actually happening is that they are taking money from our country and sending it back to their country. That means the money is not even benefiting our own society, which is completely wrong. Let everyone stick in their country. If you have come over there, if you have come to Kenya, let's say to study, finish your studies, go back to Nigeria. Finish your studies, go back to Zimbabwe. Finish your studies, go back to your country and make your country work better. If your country has low salaries, ensure or put pressure on your government to improve the salaries. Rather than telling us that you're working over here because the salaries are good, blah, blah, blah. You know, you feel much comfortable over here and you're not fixing the situation over in your country, because at the end of the day, you're not fixing it. Then what will happen to your children? Will your children also flee your country and come to other people's countries?